Good evening, everybody. We'll call a meeting to order for our June meeting, 10th. I'd like a roll call on people that are present so it's on record. That's Peter Bagdigian, Chairman.
Jim Foote, Vice Chair.
Kevin Ray, member.
Phil Cordero, member.
Russ Arnold, Town Engineer.
Mark Petorsky, Plant Superintendent.
Joe Capitafaro, Council Liaison.
Okay.
Thank you. I need a motion to accept the minutes of the May 13th.
So moved.
Jim Foote.
Second, Kevin.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. Communication reports.
Okay, so summary report for May 2020, we had above 99% removal efficiency for BOD and TSS, and the total nitrogen removal was only 25 pounds over the permit, so we're back up to basically almost 77–80% on the nitrogen removal, and we're continuing to try to increase that. Phosphorus was 1.2 on the effluent, which was well under permit. If you guys have any questions, go ahead.
No big changes?
No, so far so good. No changes that we've noted yet. So the numbers were very good. So we're happy with them.
No, the coronavirus hasn't affected too much this time, huh?
No, the only thing we have seen is just the influent phos has been a little higher, and that's probably from cleaning products, but we haven't had any issues treating it. So.
Did anybody, Jim Foote here, did anybody see the article where they were using the sewage, testing that as some kind of a precursor here to identifying hotspots and things like that?
I did see a article. I don't know if this is the same one, but they were using it to try to find like particular areas where it was, correct?
Right.
Yeah, I did see some of that.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Director's report.
Okay, so I go through the engineering report. West Farms, we just did some basic maintenance at the station. Devonwood, we're still adjusting some of the levels with the new INC controls that we have. Patterson Park upgrade, just to keep you guys up to date. Stavy & Sons are the same ones that did the Hillstead epoxying, also did the manholes that were put in with the bypass in April. So in May, we had them epoxied, and all the submittals were also approved for the electric and pump submittals. We have continuously coming in, but we're setting them in as they go. For the plant, he had a low suction alarm on the pump, but with the new gear drives, we basically haven't had any other low suction or overload alarms. So that should pretty much take care of that issue, the long-standing issue we had with them. We greased the bar screens, changed oil in a lot of the equipment because it's coming up on the 2-year mark. We are still working on the Atlas Copco blower problem, and that's Irving with Snyder Electric, Jeff from EES, John Esposito, NIC, and our electrician and operators. So we're looking at some PLC cards and a drive to remedy the issue. So we will keep you guys up to date on that. And we're also adding a couple of new INOs to be run for more monitoring on the blowers, which would be through SCADA. And any questions on that, please let me know. And that's about it for the report. That was taking most of our time, so you can see it under C on plant upgrade.
So those blower issues, Mark, those are those new blowers or are they?
Yeah, all
ones
the
that-
equipment is new from the upgrade. So
Yeah,
to make a long story short, because it's probably a long, boring explanation, there's the VFD, which controls basically how high and low it goes on the blower control, and the PLC basically is the brain for the VFD. So there's an internal communication fault somewhere in between. We think it's in the drive. So there's some type of communication error there. So we basically have the VFD specialists and our programmer looking through it with the drive manufacturer. It's
Okay.
not something they haven't encountered, but it's basically just trying to find something small in a lot of different pieces of equipment.
okay.
And
Thank
one thing we should note is this is all part of the warranty period.
Correct.
So it's not like it's a cost to us. We push this back onto the designer, the contractor, the suppliers, and everybody. And so far, they've pretty much stepped up and are taking care of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Mark, have we had any problem with like gloves and masks showing up in any of the pumps?
We have not, and knock on wood, I don't want to jinx us. We have not had an issue. So hopefully we won't happen to see one. I know a lot of our pump stations that we would, such as Yukon because of the hospital, or Trump because of that, we clean 2 to 3 times a year with our truck or with McVac just to prevent that from happening. So any huge buildup, we typically get rid of before that. And most of the pumps are able to pass a lot of that stuff. So if they did come in, it would be to the bar screens and then they would go through the grinder. But knock on wood, we haven't had any issues.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, what do we got next here?
So we think the laterals.
We're on the sewer permits issue.
Yep.
Uh,
The lateral reports is Yorkshire Court and River Road. But River Road, there is going to be the next section under new business, a motion to levy for the connection charge on 162 River Road. And that's the next on the agenda.
Okay. Let's see, what else we got?
We're gonna have to add the item now.
Yeah, new business?
You want to add that under here, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So if I can, Peter, I will read the agenda item from my email.
Okay,
And I'll need a motion and a second after. Are you good with that, Peter?
yes,
Okay, so I spoke with the DEP about the Avon connection and the sewer shed map, and we got through that. I will put the sewer shed map up that Avon has provided. Here it is. Can you see it on the screen?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so I will zoom in. There's 49 Hurdle Fence Drive. And the item will be to make it to adjust this Avon sewer shed map that flows to Farmington to allow the additional connection on 49 Hurdle Fence Drive as a temporary connection until such time that the sewer is extended on Hurdle Fence Drive for this to flow to the Simsbury's treatment plant for their sewer shed area. And that would be the motion.
Do I hear accept it to the motion?
I'll move the motion.
Jim Foot, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Discussion?
Discussion?
Well, so Russ, this is Phil. Are you happy with this map as drawn? Does this meet your expectations?
Yes, yep, and I reviewed it with the DEP, what they would, what their expectation would be. And this is exactly what we had both talked about, what I talked about with the DEP.
Great, thank you.
All right, Any other discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed unanimously.
All right, thank
Next.
you very much. Stop that one. And now we can go to the motion for the levy of connection charge.
Yeah, motion to levy connection charge and collection of 162, 162 River Road. Can you explain that, Russ?
Yes, sir. So what happened here was this is a house and a lot that was not part of the sewer system. They created a lot after the sewer went by, and this is our zone charge for the connection. And we've spoken with the property owner, they're aware of it, and this levy will create the bill to send to them for them to pay.
Is there a house on there now?
Yes, it's on
Okay.
a septic.
So then they want to be hooked up to the sewer. Russ.
Correct, this will allow them to connect.
And so when who was it? I think that was Henry Rotniak that put in Hendrickson Lane. So when they put in Hendrickson Lane, it allowed them to have access to the sewer, which they
Correct,
didn't have. Yeah. Okay.
correct. And now, because the 1 year has gone past from the developer's permit agreement, that sewer was put in, I want to say, in 2002. Now they are paying the zone charge to connect to it.
Yeah.
I'll get down to that. Excuse me, gentlemen.
I would move approval for the connection.
Peter Baddiel will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Passed.
Yeah.
The
One thing, Peter.
secretary has to, the secretary has to sign this?
Yep, what we'll do.
Yes. Yes.
And I gotta change the name on it too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take my name off, Mark. Yeah.
I just saw, because it's did all the old documents, so I'll switch the name.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep, not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. Hello?
202.
All right, where are we now? So Batterson Park Station upgrade. Mark, do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
Yeah, I was just going to do just a brief thing. I kind of touched on it already. A lot of the electrical and the pump submittals were approved. So the lift is currently being constructed. Savian Sun has also epoxy coated the manholes that are currently in the 3 manholes outside that went in with the bypass. And the one lift goes are going to be epoxying that as well. So we're just working on scheduling the rest of it. And up to date, that's pretty much what we've done so far. If you want to touch on more than that, Russ.
No, that's it. I think, excuse me, I've been working out well with Balthazar. They've been responsive
Yep.
to their submittals. They have shown up on site. They pretty much told us what they were going to do, and they adhered to their plan. At this point, it's a very good relationship, and the expectations are there, and so far so good. So I think that the project's moving along. We're waiting for now we're just in limbo, waiting for the pump station to come.
Is there any time frame on this, or?
I'd say the pump station is probably August, and some of the pumps are probably around the same time.
Yeah, I would agree.
Which I think I'm correct on, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's what they're saying right now. We're waiting for a final timeline from both
I know we were more worried about the pumps because some of them are from Germany and Hungary. So some of them are up to 12 weeks. So we got them put through. We were trying to rush it just to get everything in at the same time.
Well, I hope that won't affect anything.
No, we'll be good.
Okay, any unfinished business we have to take care of?
No, just one thing I want to let everyone know, let the authority know, that I just got a email about a half hour ago, 45 minutes ago. We've talked before, we've had a couple problems with some of the parking lot lights that have split and fallen down. Those we've been battling back and forth with the supplier, not only EW, but who they bought them for, the design engineer, SK. So I just got word, like I say, about 45 minutes ago, that they're going to replace the poles, provide an additional bracket, and EW, so that'll be coming from the supplier, and EW is going to pay for the labor to remove and reinstall the poles that are broken, plus the time to put this bracket up. So what's happened is the head, the light head, basically peels the fiberglass side of the pole right off like a corkscrew. And we've been battling with them. And the supplier, SK, basically came back and said, oh, there had to be an undue load of snow and ice that caused the failure. Having the winter we had hardly any snow and ice.
Right.
Yes, I think we weighed were like 42 pounds.
Right.
They're just attached to the fiberglass, so it doesn't take much to pull it down.
So they've agreed to supply the brackets, replace the 3 poles, and EW is going to pay for the labor. So that was a good outcome for us.
So Russ, Jim Foot, are they replacing all the poles, or are they just adding a bracket to the ones that haven't broken yet?
Correct. To adding a bracket to the ones that haven't broken and replacing the 3 that have, along with the bracket.
So how many poles are there total?
A lot.
Yes, right. Mark, you're about to say 60, right?
I was going to say 60. I didn't want to go on the record, but there's a lot.
Wow.
And the fix is basically it's a U-bolt. And Russ, correct me if I'm wrong. Instead of it being bolted to, if you think of a piece of square tube that's fiberglass, instead of it being bolted to just the front, it's bolted through the entire pole into the back. So the strength and rigidity of it's improved from what we have now. So they will be doing that on every pole.
So then can you see it? Can you see the U-bolt then, Mark, when that they do this? Does it take
I'm
away
assuming the
from
only thing that you would see is the back screws that would be coming out the back of it. I don't think you would see anything else.
Okay.
I think through the center.
You'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to use stainless or something,
Yes,
plated?
they'll be
Correct.
stained.
Is there any concern that they've missed a pole that might be getting damaged?
I talked with EES, the Electrical Energy Systems, and if there's something that we find that there's some break or crack or something, we'll fight to get that replaced as well.
Okay.
So I think this has been going on, Mark, for about a year now, over a year.
Yeah. In fact, the 3 pictures that we've sent to EES and the manufacturer, one had the foliage in it from the fall, the other had snow, and the other was the spring. So it's been at least 9-10 months.
Yeah. So we've been pushing buttons on our end to get this corrected, and I think it's a good fix, and it's not going to be detrimental to our lights, and I think it was
Now, Russ, the ones that they're going to add the bracket, do they have to remove the light pole, or can they do it in place?
they're going to do it in place, but they're going to need their bucket truck. Yes, there's a bucket truck, so they'll go up in that, remove the light, put this bracket in, and then put the light back on. the light head.
That's a significant amount of work.
Right. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
quite a bit.
number of lights.
Yeah.
Now, when we've had our meetings, when we go in there, I mean, the entry there is dark. Are those just on a timer, or how does that work?
They're all photo cells. Some of them we've shut off because we had so many of them. It was almost too many lights. So all the lights are on photo cells though.
Jim, we'll check into it and see why it's dark out there.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, like I said, it's just obviously on the meeting nights. I mean, it's pretty dark, but I mean,
Right.
otherwise you wouldn't have a problem.
Yep.
Okay, I'm good.
All right.
Anybody else got any concerns? No, hearing none. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, Kevin.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody, have a great night. Thank you and stay safe.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job, Pete.
Thank you.
Okay.